Hey there, I'm popping on because I want to talk today about success, about getting out of our own way and what can often stand in the way of our success. So with the women I'm working with these days, one of the things I'm noticing is we are each being called to let go of what we think we know, or to let go of an old way of thinking, whether it's how things are supposed to be, how we're supposed to do it, how we're supposed to show up, what it's supposed to look like. And I have found that recently for myself as well. Perhaps, I've talked about this before, but perhaps like me, you might be someone who holds on to an idealized version of perfectionism, and that is your measuring stick for success. And one of the things I've learned recently, I just literally finished doing a free event on Big Island wisdom, things that I learned on a recent trip to the Big Island of Hawaii. And one of the things that I learned is that if I were to rely solely on my mind or my ego, whether it's agenda, it's expectations, creating my itinerary, that I would be seriously shortchanging myself. And the way this shows up in my work and how it relates to success is that my mind and my ego has a very prescribed idea of what I'm supposed to measure up to, not just in terms of being worthy of success, but in each little nuanced experience of how I have written something, how I have done a video. And it loses sight of the real purpose and the real meaning. For example, if I am in a launch cycle, if I am in a time where it is my goal and objective to attract folks in to a new program I have, which actually I am just at the beginning of one of those cycles, if I were to rely solely on my mind or my ego's perspective on how that's going to happen, I'm going to be focused on things that aren't really going to serve me. I'm not going to be in the resonance or the vibration of those I am working to call in. I'm going to be focused on this. I'm going to be overly focused on this worry wrinkle that I have right here, or those lights on the ceiling from the sun, and I'm not going to be present and showing up in the ways that I know will assist me in being effective in my goal. And so what is the point? What's the point of all this? The point is that when we are feeling called to a new level of success or achievement, our mind and our ego can be a super valuable tool and resource. It can help us say, I think this is a priority, and I think this is a priority. I think it's a good idea to be organized and to show up with some semblance of a plan. And yes, those are all good things. But if it gets in the driver's seat and takes over and starts to micromanage and then starts to reject or say, you failed, you did it wrong, you failed, it's never going to work, that is when we are getting in our own way and we are sabotaging ourselves and our ability to grow, to move forward, to achieve what it is we're called to achieve or what it is we are meant to do. So I wanted to share this pearl with you because years ago, months ago, if I had done something imperfectly, it would have torpedoed, I would have given up. I would have given up, and maybe you have found yourself in that position as well. But what I appreciate is that I now have the resilience to both recognize the critical thought that's wanting to come in and try and sabotage me, from getting to where I'm meant to be and being of service in the way that I'm meant to. It's trying to keep me small and to minimize embarrassment or shame. But you know what? You know what I realized? That while I may not, in endeavors such as this, while I may not look like coiffed to the airbrushed perfection that my ego or my mind thinks would be most beneficial, I am able to connect with those who I'm meant to serve, who resonate, and who need something real and genuine. So I offer this to you as a possibility. I suggest to you that it can be worthwhile to look at what are those assumptions, what are the things that my mind or my ego is telling me of how it has to be in order for me to succeed or for me to get to that next level, and how can I loosen up? How can I loosen up the grip on that? What is the deepest truth? What is life reflecting back to me? What is it showing me? Like where is it saying, yes, more of this, yes, more of that, by the way that it is providing you with gifts or with positive reflections from others? Or just today, as I was doing my offering, I had a hawk that was sitting out right outside my window for 10 minutes during my talk, and then I had this small little squirrel that, as you can see, we have these railings here, and it literally was on the railing looking into the window. Like there's a way in which life is saying, yes, you're on the right track. And that may diverge or look different from what your mind has to say about things. But do not lose heart. Do not lose heart, because you are on the right track. And it's time to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going. Keep going towards whatever it is that's calling you, or whatever it is that you are called to create. I do also want to share briefly with you, I have an exciting new mentorship journey. The doors have just opened for that. It's the MagdaleneRose Mentorship. It is for those who are ready to step into sacred eldership, those of us who are passionate about our spiritual journey, passionate about our inner work and our inner growth, and equally as passionate and called to be of service to the world. So if you would like to explore more of that, you will see the link in the comments or in my bio, depending on where you're watching this. So sending you much love and encouragement to keep on keeping on.